Hey you guys, welcome to the Business Method High Performance Business Tip for today. And have I got a good one for you? Today's tip is with a guy named Jeffrey Kent. Jeffrey is the founder of a company called Abercrombie and Kent, not to be confused with Abercrombie and Fitch, but Abercrombie and Kent. It is the premier and one of the top luxury travel companies on the planet. It is a multi-billion-dollar company that Jeffrey founded about 60 years ago, and he continued to run it for his entire life. Now, think about that. Most of us think in terms regarding business for 2 or 3 years. Jeffrey played the long game. And in this clip, I actually asked Jeffrey, did you ever think about giving up? And I want you to listen closely to his answer because his answer is incredibly sincere when he says, I never, ever thought about giving up. You can hear it in his voice. It's quite inspiring. And he then goes on to say that he didn't even make $1 million until 10 years. And then another 2 or 3 years, then it was 1.5 million. So you're looking at 12 to 13 years for 1.5 million. And in today's world, people are upset if they don't have $1 million by year 3. Some people won't even start a company if they don't have $1 million. Jeffrey played the long game. And what's important here, you guys, is thinking about the long game in business. Business is much more a long game than it is a short game. And that's important to know. So, yeah, it's an incredible clip. So let's hop into it with Jeffrey Kent.
Really, for the first 10 years, I'd gone from zero to about $1 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
1.2. I got the British Airways contract in 78, 79, launched it. Suddenly, by that, I'm at 1.5 million. So, and then it went 10 million, 20 million, 30 million, 40 million, 50 million. Wow, I got a business. 70 million, 80 million, 90 million. And I was off and running. Then I said, why am I doing this? Why don't I do it in the hotels?
Yeah.
No, why don't I buy more cars? But what it really taught me for an entrepreneur, I suddenly realized that why I'd been successful. I always said to myself, why has nobody done this?
Yeah.
And that was one of my big competitors in Kenya. Why haven't you done this? They said, we're petrified of entering America. I said, really? Why? They said, we don't want any lawsuits. I said, great. I don't care about lawsuits. I have nothing to take. I'll go. So, because they were the biggest. So I went. And of course, we had lawsuits. And by the way, I read a wonderful phrase the other day. Somebody said, if you've been in business a long time and you don't have a lawsuit, you're doing something wrong.
Right.
And
I've
so,
heard that too. Those first 10 years you were in business, did you ever think
yeah,
about quitting?
never.
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 What
I
about?
think the military taught me so much.
Yeah.
The military taught you that you can never quit. There's no such thing as quit.
Mm.
Never. If you're sick, we had one thing at Santos, the Royal Military Academy, and I'm sure you have it at West Point. And the real answer was, officers do not get sick. Don't come and tell me you're sick. We'll leave the army.
Yeah.
You're not sick. Get better. You're never sick. You never quit. However hard you get hit, jump up again, do it again. And listen, I'm here. Look at me. I've had many things happen, and I feel just like I'm starting.
Did you ever think about quitting after that 10-year period? Was there ever a time when you thought about throwing in the
Never,
towel? Never.
never, no, never. Because this was what I knew. And we did so many things. We're now a hotelier, we're a ship operator, we're
Yeah.
a ground operator, we're guiding. We do everything in Abercrombie and Kids. So it was like a huge businesses within businesses. What were those funny balls that you used to buy in Russia with all the dolls
Yeah.
inside? Remember
Yeah.
those? That was Abercrombie and Kids. Doll, 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 more and more and more.
All right, guys. There you go. What did you think about that? The question I want to leave you with is how many years have you been in business or planning to go into business? And how long do you think it'll take you to hit success? Most people, it takes longer than they imagine. We hear these stories about the Alex Hermozis and the Mark Cubans and the Ubers and the Apples and the companies that, hit millions pretty rapidly and even billions. Those stories, you guys, more often than not, they're the exception. They're not the rule. You need to get it in your head that business is a long-term game. First off, focus on whatever business you're working on now. Give it 10 years. Seriously, give it 10 years. And I'll tell you why. It takes 4 years to get a degree, a bachelor's degree, 6 years to get a master's, and an accountant's degree, roughly, and another 2 years on top of that. So 8 years to get a law degree. And then you're looking at about 8 to 10 years to get a doctorate's degree, right? So these professionals put in a lot of time and work and study. Your first 10 years in business, and any seasoned entrepreneur will tell you this, your first 10 years is your university studies. It is just merely the beginning. And just think if Jeffrey gave up at year 10 and sold his company for $1 million, he would not be anywhere close to where he is now. He has a multi-billion dollar company. He lives in Monaco, flies private, does all the things, yada, yada, yada. Put in the time, put in the work, but he focused on one thing for the long term, and that is impressive. I do jujitsu. Most jujitsu black belts take about 10 years with consistent work. Occasionally there's some exceptions, just like in business, just like in anything. And those are the stories that make the headlines. But most businesses out there play the long game. So keep that in your mind. 10 years. Go to 10 years and then reevaluate. See what's going on. If something happens in year 7, year 5, year 8, year 9, and you're like, I'm going to exit. This is a great exit for me, and I'm going to start a new business. Fine. Go for that if you think that's the right thing to do, but just put it in your mind. I'm going to 10 years with this business. You guys, this episode with Jeffrey is a really great one. It's coming out in the next week or so, and I highly recommend you checking it out. Jeffrey, again, is the founder of Abercrombie and Kent, one of the top luxury travel companies on the planet, period. And if you like what you're hearing and you want to make sure you don't miss any of these tips, please subscribe, leave us a review, and share with your friends. See you on the next episode.